stunning looks than swift.
Well, the World Cup has begun, but now it shall arrive because the hosts are set to kickstart their campaign. India take on Australia. That is the game we build up at the Chepauk on Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPN Cricinfo Matchday in the company of Anil, Kumble and Dale Steyn. Right, let's start by asking a question we've asked before. What is India's best 11, Anil Kumble? And I know you're going to say conditions, but everything you know of the Chepauk, tell me what conditions could be like.
No, it can be anything, right? I mean, it could be a turning track. If it's a turning track, then obviously Ashwin comes in instead of Shardul Thakur. Otherwise, I think Shardul will probably be in the starting lineup with the Indian team, and that's one of the reasons why they picked him ahead of Shami in the games leading up to the World Cup. So yes, I would expect Shardul to be in the playing 11. And looking at the conditions, then probably take a call whether Ashwin needs to come in.
Do you sense the inclusion of Ashwin, the late dramatic almost inclusion of Ashwin over Akshar or even Washington Sundar, makes you feel like that might be India's best 11 regardless, or no, is that a spinner too heavy?
No, even before the, no, I think I made a certain, I certainly made a point of Ashwin being a part of the original squad because I felt that, in India, spin, we have already seen in this tournament that spin will certainly play its part, and he's a quality spinner. And because of the change in rules in those middle power play, you need quality bowlers. And in case you need those three spinners to be used, then he's certainly one amongst the three. So Kuldeep, Jadeja, Ashwin, and then you have two fast bowlers along with Hardik Pandya is a formidable bowling attack.
It seems a grave injustice that Mohammad Shami cannot find room in an 11 like this, Dale. Some of us flirt with the idea of, come on, India can possibly consider it. Why not play Shami, Siraj and Bumrah? It seems highly unlikely, but do you sense India's best 11 would include Ashwin in it? Or is that just for a day where you see a turner or predict a turner, which we might get at the Chepauk?
I like the inclusion of Ashwin. I think he's such a smart cricketer too, so he's obviously a highly skilled bowler. But when you come to these big tournaments like World Cups, you want guys that are street smart, that have done this a few times before, that have won big tournaments and trophies. And Ashwin is one of those guys. He's got that big match temperament. So I like him in the side, but I love Mohammad Shami. I don't know how this guy struggles to make this Indian team right now. He's a wonderful bowler, wicket taker, swings the ball late. Look, I'm a fast bowler, so I'm always going to be rooting for them. But Ashwin is also, he's a wonderful cricketer in India, a fantastic record. And just what's between his ears, such a smart guy, knows how to handle those tough conditions. And when it comes to playing against big teams like Australia, England, South Africa, your big New Zealand, he's on the money when it comes to that kind of thing.
All these spinners with engineering minds and whatnot in India, how much they think. The batting has a selection call as well, and it's a tough one. Whether Shreyas Iyer is your first choice number, forget the number, but your first choice batter in that, or whether Suryakumar Yadav with the form he showed against Australia?
Yeah, it's very difficult. I mean, Shreyas Iyer will probably be ahead of...
sorry, there's Ishan Kishan there as well.
Yeah, I know. So I think Shreyas Iyer will probably go ahead of Surya.
That would be your pick?
I mean, my pick would have been very different.
Tell me your pick.
Yeah, my pick would have been, saying, okay, how can we get Surya in as well along with Shreyas? That would how I would look at balancing the team, which meant that you had to go one bowler short and get your. I mean, we don't have that option now because none of our batters bowl. So that's the biggest challenge. So let's leave that park that aside. You'll have to go with. You'll have to go with. You'll have to go with what. Yeah. So I feel Shreyas Iyer. Right. He did get 100 against Australia. So. So I'm sure and he's in good form. The best part is all of them are in great form. Everyone's scoring runs, everyone's picking wickets. Like Dale mentioned, you can't leave out Shami either. It's a good headache to have, but it's a good balanced team. I mean, even with Shreyas Iyer at 4 or 5, it's still a good lineup.
Shreyas gets hundreds. There's no guarantee that will keep you in the team. Ishan Kishan's got a double 100 and not played the next game, and now you have Suryakumar Yadav, who's finally got some runs. They will have to take this call because you think that the batting has to be what is your best batting regardless of conditions. Now, is that Suryakumar Yadav for you at number 6, 7, or is that Shreyas Iyer at number 5? Or Ishan Kishan?
Oh, again. That's tough. I mean, how do you pick these guys?
You are making this decision,
Wonderful
Steyn.
cricketers.
Come on, make it.
Probably Shreyas.
Okay.
Yeah. 100 recently against Australia. He's in form. Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about Australia. It doesn't seem like as much of a selection call for them. Is Cameron Green become a first choice player? Is he a first choice player over a Marcus Stoinis?
I would say so. Yeah, I think so. I think he's got that little bit more with the ball. Also recently in India, IPL, he scored some runs. And he's also just one of those guys you just think that magic happens around him. I'm a fan of those kind of players that create things out of nowhere. He can be fielding at gully and takes a brilliant one-handed catch. Not to say that Stoinis can't do that, but I just get the feel that Cameron Green is one of those guys that you just sense that every time he's got bat in hand, ball in hand, or he's fielding somewhere, that something is going to happen. So I'd probably just tip him ahead of Marcus Stoinis. And Australia also a very strong side. You know, they've got their basics covered in terms of bowling. Pat Cummins, Stark, Hazelwood, your usual suspects there. Good batting.
Adam Zampa as a spinner.
Adam Zampa as a spinner. I mean, they're a very, very good team and another team that excels when it comes to World Cups.
Yeah. Any sort of out of the ordinary selection that you expect for the Australians in this game? Can they play all the all-rounders at all? It seems unlikely.
Yeah, unless the sort of conditions demand that you don't need so many three fast bowlers. I mean, generally Josh Hazlewood, Cummins and Stark should be in your starting lineup, but if the conditions demand that you don't need three plus a Cam Green or a Stoinis and Mitch Marsh as well.
Yeah.
So you have plenty of fast bowling options. So if that is the case and if they feel that they need to strengthen the batting, then perhaps one of the fast bowlers will have to give way. Yeah. And then use a Cam Green, Stoinis and Mitch Marsh to sort of fill in that role.
What is India's strength, Anil? Is it batting first? It used to be a chasing team, and then suddenly with the question marks around the depth in batting and the way that they played in the Asia Cup, you feel like maybe batting first not a bad idea. Do you see a strength for them in this tournament?
Yeah, I think so. I think batting first, it frees up the top guys. I mean, all of them are great players, so it just needs to free up their mind and just go there and then bat without anything in their mind of chasing a target. Setting a score. We have seen both the openers have had fantastic runs leading up to this World Cup with 100 partnerships. So both Shubman Gill and Rohit Sharma, if they go and just get that foundation, then it becomes a lot easier to set a target. What you don't want when you're chasing is a couple of early wickets and then suddenly start putting pressure on, and then starting to think that we don't have a deeper batting to chase down those runs. So yes, batting first. If the conditions are going to be the same, then batting first. Otherwise, you'll have to sort of look at the conditions. And take
sure, sure. I'm asking you the easy questions on this one, am I not?
They all seem hard.
I want you to pick the one matchup you think is going to be pivotal in deciding the fate of this contest, and let's think about them for a bit. There's Siraj v Warner, there's Stark v Rohit, there's Kuldeep v Maxwell or Green or Smith, or there are so many. So I want you to pick the one that you can close your eyes and almost envision. If this one gets the better of this one, that'll decide this.
I don't think it's one particular player versus another, but I think it's India's spinners versus Australia's middle order batters. If India's spinners can get wickets and stop their middle order, your Smiths and your Maxwells from getting away and scoring runs, then Australia are really going to struggle. They always have a strangle. There's India's spinners in India against opposition teams, and I think that matchup there, that's a big one for me right there. It's not a particular player versus a player. Stark versus Rohit, that's going to be entertaining for us. But it could last one ball.
Yes.
But it's that whole middle period there that I'm concerned about for Australia.
Could last one ball, is it?
Who knows? Stark got a hat-trick the other night,
Rohit started stepping out to these left-armers these days now with all the talk on left-arm pace. I'm so curious and keen for this game. I can't bear with the uncertainty now. So let's talk Anil, Kumble and Dale Steyn. When we build up to India versus Australia, we'll have these fine gentlemen with us. We look forward to your company then on Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPN Cricinfo MatchDay.
Stunning looks, then swift,